everybody, it is Romania Black, and we are on episodes 5 and 6 of Hunter x Hunter, and I'm really excited because I don't know what comes next. I mean, we're in the marsh. We're still in phase 1 of the Hunter exam. We are now in the marsh, which seems very dangerous because we have to keep up with statotes, and that seems like it's going to be a little bit more perilous than it was last few episodes. And honestly, I talked a little bit about this in the spoiler corner. I don't quite remember exactly what happens at this point in the anime from what I did watch 5 years ago. I have ideas of vague things that happen, but I don't know when they occur. So we're going to do exactly like we did last week, where we are going to look at episodes 5, episode 6. I'm going to react to those. There will be timestamps throughout this video. And then we will come back and have a discussion of episodes 5 and 6 together. And then at the end, we will have a spoiler corner where anything involving spoilers of what I remember will be discussed at that point. So hopefully that format has worked well for everybody in episodes 3 and 4. I'm recording a little bit ahead because, one, I want to get into like a groove with Hunter x Hunter. I'm very excited to hear what people have to say about it. I hope you all enjoy the reactions and the discussions, but also because I have forgotten kind of how addictive this show is. And I feel like I took it for granted when my brother was just binge showing it in like giant episode sets while I was grading papers. I feel like I took that for granted. And now I'm like, oh, but I want to watch the next 2 episodes. So if you're watching on YouTube and you are not a patron, you can go over to my Patreon right now and see the next 2 episodes. They always come out a week early for patrons who just pay like $5 a month. It's crazy. It's like less than your Taco Bell order. So that you will do. And then if you cannot get on Patreon, I totally understand, but please like this video, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And every Tuesday, at least for this first arc, we'll be going week to week with 2 episodes of Hunter x Hunter. 3 at 2 points in this first arc because there are recap episodes, and I'll just include my thoughts about those when we get to them. A few notes before we start as well. I have been told on Discord the mangaka of this series is Togashi. I didn't want to look up the artist's name because I was afraid of spoilers. They are the mangaka of Yu Yu Hakusho. What? That's why half these characters look like they belong on Yu Yu Hakusho, because it's the same mangaka, same designs, all of that. I was like, oh my god, that all makes sense now. Also, what a mangaka to not only complete Yu Yu Hakusho, which had a lot of chapters to it, and then now still be working on Hunter x Hunter. Crazy. That is insane. And that, to do those 2 series and all the creativity involved, Togashi, all of my praise. I'm so excited about that. Also, Yu Yu Hakusho's mangaka is married to Sailor Moon's mangaka. Oh, that makes my like Elder Toguro and Genkai like ship. Like I can't. Okay, anyway, I'm not gonna get into Yu Yu Hakusho spoilers. Just that show is like 40 years old. You all should know by now. But that's like my favorite ship from that series. So anyway. So also I was told there were some people talking on the Discord, and I want to bring this up because it may have come up in the comments and I may have ignored those comments because of the mods. So if I did, just know I understand that the 1999 edition's first episode included more manga content. I don't want to know anything about the 1999 version because I'm going to be reviewing the manga. If I wasn't reviewing the manga, I would be all about it. But since I am going to be taking my time to review for you the manga and my thoughts on it, I don't want to know. So that's kind of just how that goes. But I appreciate people trying to tell me like to watch it. I'm not going to watch any of the 1999 version. I just don't have time. So we're just going to address it in the manga. When I do the manga review though, if you watch my manga reviews, you can tell me what the 1999 versions included from the manga that the 2011 version did not. Does that work? Hopefully, maybe, possibly, hopefully that's the case. But anyway. So yeah, but anyway, I'm so excited. I am now like wanting to binge watch ahead on Hunter x Hunter. I may end up doing that, and I hope you all are okay with it because I don't think I would binge watch past the arc necessarily, but I may binge watch this series and get these reactions ready and then revel in your comments down below because I need to get into this series. It's so good. But with that being said, before we get started, I want to give a shout out to those on our philanthropy tier over on Patreon. They support me a little extra each month. They throw me basically an extra chalupa's worth each month, and I appreciate that. And I give them a shout out in my videos every week, just depending on the video. So we have a new person on here that I want to give thanks to. So thank you to Alex Cornejo, to Be Happy, as well as to Damage3245, to Dana, to Devorin, to Destiny Marie, to Daniel, to Ichu, to Eric, to Fisho, to Ghostly Turnip, L. Freya, Linden, Murphy, Willie Morris, as well as Translucent Men, Sunspots, Shimoyama, Daniel James, Nicholas, Sean, James N., as well as Diana Williams and Rose Jennison. Thank you all so much for your support. I greatly appreciate it. All of my love. And that to everybody on Patreon as well in general, because you guys are just freaking awesome. So thank you. But anyway, let's not waste any more time. I'm so excited, y'all. I have 2 dogs at my feet. You're going to have to excuse them. They're probably going to be needy, and that's okay. But we're going to get started and look and see what all goes on in this. I need my headphones. Yeah, because we don't want the studios getting mad. So we're going to plug this in, and then we are going to get started. We are going to start episode 5 and then check out episode 6 of Hunter x Hunter. I'm so excited. And we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1. And let's do it to it, Lars. Well, of course. Hidden treasures, you know. I'm curious how many of these will be addressed in the series. Unknown holds magic. I kind of like it too, because it's basically talking about how, like, historical explorers searching the world. Oh, look, Satotes is there on the front. That's cool. Good job, Satotes, for making the front of this. But I wonder if the other 2 are examiners as well. Interesting. We'll go back to that episode 6 and look back at that intro. But I kind of like it because it's talking about explorers, as well as, you know, when people started getting the technology to travel and transport to different corners of the world. It also makes me think of, while we're accessing that magic, the more we discover about the world, the less of there is to access. So it makes me think of Pirates of the Caribbean in the 3rd one, where Jack Sparrow's, or Captain Barbossa's like, you know, the world used to be a bigger place. And he's like, no, it's not bigger. There's just less in it. And I'm like, so, yeah, him. Okay, yeah, that guy. Isn't he the guy that's number 191? Is he the mole? I don't remember. Oh, look at Leorio flying through the air. That's hilarious. With the card. Why are you picking a fight with a 12-year-old? Why? Pick on people your own age, sir. Okay. Oh, wow. Speaking of Hisoka. I like that Hisoka has his Spanish guitar by his name. He's like, duh. Bitch, please. That was that gesture. He, like, has the voice of Oikawa, just if he were, like, a little bit deeper. Uh-huh, sure. Thanks for the compliment, but bitch, no. Yeah. I always get a little aggravated at, like, these recaps at my dog at the very start. Oi, oi. Hisoka is sneaky. Well, that explains why we had to have the recap. I do like that his name has the number 8 in it. Okay. Yeah, at this point, I only remember 2 things. The Numeri wetlands. It feels like the drum beat also reminds me of the Ginyu Force from Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, old Hellraiser there. Being weird. I see you. Also, okay, the guy with the turban has the arrows. Yeah, some of these folks look a little bit, like more than just side characters. Ha! Did Leorio and them still not put their clothes back on? Okay. This poor bird. Something gonna happen to it? Seems ominous. This marsh makes me think of the Lord of the Rings, where there was the marsh with the zombies in it. 19 my ass! Dat waste. No, you just saw that man take off another guy's, arms. No. That seems like a terrible idea. You should say it a little louder so we can hear you. Oh. Nice, Killua! And Killua's like, let's get away from Hisoka. There we go. Yeah, no, don't trust him. Yeah! I can feel it calling in the air tonight. Come on, Gon. He says it's because Hisoka might be a danger. Oh, I like Kurapika stays with him. Oh, Gon's like, but friends. Yeah, okay. It's like the Scooby-Doo gang splitting up. We left Fred and Daphne together and Shaggy and Velma moved up. Oh, bitch. Oh my god. Oh, what is that? What? What in the fruit of the loom is this? Oh my god. Oh, bitch. The noggin-luggin tortoise. What? That's wild. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Yeah, don't scatter. Find some totes. Hello, sir. Can you help us find the rest of our family? Don't eat the shrooms. Oh, why would you not have done that? Oh, let's hope this is not like Last of Us. Oh, it is! No! Claymore mushrooms? Oh my god. Oh, hell no! I forgot all of this. Don't stop for Butterfree. Don't do it. Damn. The hypnosis butterfly. It was super effective. Oh my god. This is already like knocking everybody out. No, he wouldn't have stopped. He wouldn't have stopped. He wouldn't have stopped. Nope. Nope. Mm-mm. Oh my god. They just dead. That's why I recognize him, the Ruse Raven. Man, they just straight up died. Well, those guys also had mushrooms coming out of their heads, so they're straight up dead too. Oh, poor Gon. Oh shit, no, there was a trap there. Crap, oh my god. Oh. Frog in waiting, how do they get out? Oh my god, Leorio. Oh my god. Oh! Oh! Can jump! Oh shit! Oh, not in the eye! Not in the eye! The irony! The irony! Damn the irony. How we getting out of this frog? I know they do. How we do that? Oh god. Oh no, but now they've lost track of Satotes. Oh, the laxative. Nice. I could have escaped. I would have carved out from his stomach. Killua's like, forget them. Are we jealous, Killua? Oh. Oh, is Gon gonna wait? Oh. Yeah, that's not gonna end well for them. That's not gonna end well for them, actually. That's gonna end really poorly for them. Oh no, I think he's actually perfect hunter material, honestly. Oh. Oh. I think he'll figure it out. Uh-huh. Ooh! Nope, nope. Just why would you attack him? You saw what he did to that one guy. Oh my god. Is he gonna decapitate all of them? That'll do. Oh my gosh. Get up and run. Oh, bitch. He was not ready to lip sync for his life. Get out of there. No, we're good. Thanks. Thanks, we're great. Nope, you keep on doing what you're doing, man. We'll just be on our way. Oh, that? That's my name. Oh, no, that's Satotes. Oh, it's precious. Satotes. Okay. Gon went back to get the others. Oh my god. So what we do? Shit. Yeah! Yeah, get out of there. Nope, this is like the boss battle we don't need. Nope, nope, nope. Wait, how did Leorio get the pin to stay on his body? Did he stick it into his bicep? Or into his pec, I mean? Oh, bitch. Oh, bitch. Oh. Also dim thighs. Just saying. Oh my god. Hmm. Hmm. God. Even the animals like eating their corpses is like, let's not mess with this guy. Leorio. Is this really Leorio or is this one of the beasts? Sure, what? But oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, 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 goon! Oh, goon! Oh, goon! He's like, that's not the first time I've been smacked in the face by a ball before, but... Oh! What a fascinating weapon! That's the second person that's commented on the fishing pole as a weapon. Nope! No, oh my god. Oh! Oh! Ooh. Oh my god. Ooh, oh shit. Ugh. Nope, let's not. Let's not get excited. Let's not. Let's say we did what we don't. Oh. He's just a boy. Leave him alone. Let's not get off on choking children, Hisoka. Let's stop that. Nope. Nope. Gon's like, what the fudge? That's a what the fudge look. Oh. What? What? Wait, why is he taking the Oreo? Was it what? What? Oh, man, him like breathing in my ear. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh! Okay. Huh. Don't leave them. Are they already to the end? Oh. Ha! It means he's just drenched in cologne. You didn't notice, Kurapika? That's a great question. Uh-huh. Right, not maybe an official judge, but on his own merit. Well, you are 12. Did. Indeed. We'll talk about that. Well, you might be surprised. I figured the graceful technique would get Kurapika. Ah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah, kind of. Ha! Kurapika's like, well, that's kind of terrifying, actually. You know, the fact that your fight or flight didn't kick in. Oh, okay. Or maybe that something else kicked in. Oh! Okay, that's where we're... Look, it's Hunter x Hunter. Okay, so Hisoka's working with Hellraiser. Interesting. Mortal fear. And he was chill with it, so that should be concerning. We should be concerned. Uh-oh. Oh my god. We're down to 148. Leorio draped in the back. Oh god. Okay. Do we have anything after this other than there's no after credit scene. Okay, we're going to go straight to the next one and start there, y'all, because I just want to dive into this episode. So we're going to start this episode here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. I'm going to try to remember to include the first, like, 10, 15 seconds of this to help people sync. I had, like, a little glitch there at the start, so I might set the timer for, like, 1 second. Yeah, see, there's the totes, and then there's a woman and a guy there, so are the 3 phases of the exam, and they're the 3 examiners? We shall see. For some reason, thought that the marsh scene was longer. I didn't think it was just 1 episode. I felt like it was longer than that. We're going to talk in the spoiler corner about that, but I felt like it was longer. So we're going to talk about that. Again, it's been 5 years, so my memory is perhaps a little bit off. So, which I guess kind of works out because then everything's a surprise. Like, 90% of the events of last episode I didn't remember. So I was like, oh, when did this happen? Maybe because it was just one episode that I was like, Okay, yeah, that one guy. Okay, yeah. So Totes in them. Interesting. Ta-da! Yeah, Gon versus Hisoka with the cards. And the ace and the joker. Indeed. Interesting. Okay. Sir, leave that child alone. Gon, don't be excited as well. Gon experiences his first adrenaline rush. A surprising challenge. I feel like this music playing is like a ringtone. So 148, we've knocked down quite a few. Where's Leorio? Oh. Killua's like one of my chopped liver. Well. Well, but. Aw. Aw. No way, man. Oh. You are weird. I love it. Ah. Okay, now we're to phase 2. Satotes! Bye, bitch! You were a real one, Satotes! Oh, I'm glad Leorio found a shirt. Okay, Monkey Man's still there. Oh. Oh. Wow. Minchi! And Buhara. Minchi is legend. Look at that drip. Love her. Huh. Are they going to feed him? I don't remember this at all. Cooking? Oh, damn. Because I said so, bitch! Gourmet hunters. Wow. Oh! She's like, oh, bitch! I do believe I'm better than you, so, So totes. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, yikes. She just told you. Listen. Oh. Oh, they're all cooking stations. The Great Hunter Hunter cook-off. Wow, I would be treating them with more respect. They're literally going to determine whether you pass or not. What if there were no pigs? Are there no pigs? Oh. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Yeah, it wasn't going to be so easy. Hey, little piggy piggy. You gotta say sui. No, it is not. Uh. I love Killa was right behind him. Oh. Oh. Uh. Oh my god. Was this Tomba? They're huge. Yeah. Yeah. Most pigs are carnivores. I mean, they're omnivores, but they'll literally eat anything. Man, all these people have had to do is run. Run and use up all the stamina. Oh my god. The great stamp. Yeah, I can see that. Oh my god, that didn't work. Nani? Oh yeah? The fishing pole! Oh no, Gone! Oh, that'll do. Maybe not. Oh. Okay, the top of the head. All right, there we go. Ah! Okay. Nice. What a trendsetter, Gone. Oh my god. How are they able to carry them in one hand? Okay, I would suck at this challenge. I'd just give up. I'd be like, no. How bizarre. Wow, no, you didn't listen. You didn't listen very good. Uh, she's like, I don't have to. I love that he's gonna be. No. What if she just doesn't like pork? Yeah. None of them made any effort. Uh-huh. Well, like, don't. Oh my god! Yes. Oh my god, no. Like, make more than. Turn it into something else. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, that would take that as an insult. Oh, my God, no. Oh. Oh. Okay, so it is a different person. Okay, 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 okay. I was like, no, somebody has to pass. Minchi. I love that Gon was still cooking. Uh-huh. No effort, yeah. Mmm. No, they're not. Say that one more time. Ah! Mmm. Uh-huh. A blacklist hunter. A mere gourmet hunter. Ooh. Oh. 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 You'd have killed him. Mmm. There we. Oh, bitch, yes! Frickin' love her. Yeah, she had to pass the exam too. Mmm. Bitch. And the guy's like, I was preparing something. He's like, I was gonna make a salad for you, ma'am. Look at this. Look at this grading curve. Okay, that's why it's Hunter XX, yeah. With the Geta. Oh, man. Damn. Oh, the smoke. Love it. Okay. Didn't break a bone. Whew. He's the president, bitch. The chairman. Netero. I'm sure you do. Mm. Oh my God. Mm. Uh-huh. There we go. Hmm. I mean, let Bararu, or whatever his name. Hmm. Oh. Oh. Boiled eggs. Mount split in half. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh. Okay, I remember maybe part of this. Oh, wow. Oh, now here we go. Here we go. Okay, those are huge. And dream eggs. Bingo. What a legend. Icon. Queen. Get it, girl. Oh, geez. Oh. Oh. Ha! You just got to time it right. Wow. Well, you can't be reasonable if you're a hunter. Ah! Yay! Yay! Oh my god, wait. Oh, but the spiders. Not yet. Uh huh. Oh shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Okay, good. Good. So did the others just fall to their death? Gone's like, look what we did. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Huh. Ugh. Boiled eggs. I hate boiled eggs. Ah! Maybe it tastes good after you've been through all that. Hmm. 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 That's the spirit. Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Only 42 left. 4 happens to be part of it. Oh my god. Ah, okay. Okay. Okay, so this was an interesting episode because like, I honestly, 90%, maybe 95% of this episode set, I did not remember at all. Uh-huh, and Netero. Okay. Wild. Didn't remember these people. Or this. So that was fun. Okay. Hisoka. Nope. 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 Big ol' pile of nope. Uh-huh. Wild. Yes, we have so much to talk about because I love that there's so much I didn't remember of this episode set. Fun times. This screamo music with Gon is just so funny to me. Oh my gosh. So yes. Well, yes. What a wild set of episodes. So we're going to do like what we did with episodes 1 and 2, where I'm going to pull up some screenshots to go along and talk through with you all as we go through this, because I don't think I need Whiteboard Coon for this week. This week was pretty cut and dry. And honestly, I'm realizing, and we'll talk about it in the spoiler corner, I'm realizing that I don't remember a lot of this series. I don't remember a lot. Like 95% of these 2 episodes did not remember. And then I was like, oh, this happened. Ha ha. So I'm excited about that, because that means that I'm not going to remember exactly when things are going to occur, which means they will be a surprise to me, which means they'll be more fun for you to watch when I'm like, what? So yeah, we're going to talk about Hisoka. Like I said, we're going to talk about Hisoka as we get through Hisoka. As much as, like just that feeling of, but let's go ahead and again pull this up here and get that ready, shall we? And we're going to do that. I'm going to talk about the intro things more in the spoiler corner, so we're just going to wait on that. But we're going to get past the intro and start pulling up the screenshots here so we can follow along in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, and my dog is going to have me throw his toy. He was very patient with me this week while I go through this. So yeah, I'm not usually a fan of the recap at the beginning of episodes. I'm not usually a fan of it because I'm like, okay, well, we've all seen this. We don't need a recap. But it is important to kind of do it for Hisoka, to kind of put up that he's not somebody to be dealt with, not someone to deal with lightly. And honestly, Satotes has been like so, compared to Minchi, which I love Minchi so much. Minchi and Bararu, I think that's his name. We'll get it here in a second. They're so much fun. I forgot about them. Minchi's a freaking icon. Her style, her fashion, her attitude. Love it. She would be fun to cosplay. She'd be a lot of fun to cosplay. Although I would not wear a crop top that you could see my bra through. There's enough creepiness sometimes at conventions, especially with Netero in this episode. I was like, dude, ugh. But yeah, I don't know. Also, if you know, you know, but wearing those short shorts like that are very uncomfortable. I don't know, just they're not comfy. No. Although Hisoka would be fun to cosplay if he wasn't so damn creepy. But anyway, I like the design. Anyway, so this first episode is called Hisoka is so sneaky. So we went down from 368 applicants to 42 by the end of phase 2. That's a cut off. Like we went down from 404 at the start to 42. Note the 4 in that. So that's pretty interesting. We're getting down to the nitty gritty now. We only got, I'm assuming we have one more phase of the exam, but I can't remember, to be honest. So one thing, and this isn't really a spoiler, one thing is I legit thought that the marsh was longer than what it was. For some reason in my head, I thought us being in the marsh was going to take episodes, and it took one. And I was like, oh, But also, if you notice, when they got to the second phase with the cooking, they were in another park scenario. And I was like, oh God, the backgrounds are all starting to blend. Is this all just going to blend together? I'm not going to remember what's what. And that seems like what it's going to be the case. So yeah, so we got through this session here. And basically, I like that Killua immediately clocks. That Hisoka's bad news. Hisoka is bad news. We need to get away from him, and says, hey, Gon, let's just like, get up front and get away from Hisoka. He seems like he's bad news. And Gon's like, well, I don't think he smells. What's going on? And Gon's like, Killua's like, let's go, Gon. But Gon is not about to leave his friends behind. So he kind of opts to maybe go back and help Leorio and Kurapika. The strawberry scene, I was like, I don't remember this acid trip. And then we come to find out it's the giant dinosaurs with the strawberries on their back. Like, the creativity's off the scale in this series to begin with. It's just creativity's off the scale. There's like no rules, so anything goes. But the idea of the dinosaurs were terrifying to begin with. The dinosaurs with the strawberries that lured people in. The mushrooms are some of the creepiest part, though. No, I know I've talked about eyes and how getting stabbed in the eye. We're going to talk about Kurapika with that later, but that part creeps me out. I don't know, the thought of parasitic fungi invading your body and taking it over like the zombie fungus. Nope, I don't want no part of that. That's so disturbing. And I know it's a real life thing that is terrifying. Yeah, like these people, like, legit. Here's the other thing. Those guys that fell, where was it at? They got like the hypnosis butterfly was like, that part was the easiest one. That one just put you to sleep, right? Unless it killed you, you know. But then, yeah, the Amori guys, they were about to follow those one dudes. These people here, they dead. They're just straight up dead. Like, there's no blood shown, because then they would have like a censor rating, but there's no blood shown, but they're dead. So, and I know that you sign the fine print when you start the hunter exam being like, you know, you could lose your life. Just FYI, are you still okay with it? And everybody signed off on it. But still, the fact that there legitimately have been numerous deaths in this series from the first few episodes, and it's like, well, that's just part of, you know, the process of becoming a hunter. Ethical red flags. Ethical red flags all over the place. I just, it's so crazy. And it ends up being the ruse raven. The ruse raven. I knew when I saw that bird, and it was like they honed in on the bird. I was like, that bird, there's something to it. There's something special about it. And then it comes back and reveals what it did. So yeah. I did not remember the frog swallowing Gon and Killua, but the reason I did not remember them is because it was barely shown. They ended up getting vomited immediately. Okay. Can we talk about the irony of this moment? The fact that Kurapika stabbed the dinosaur in the eye, and Kurapika's whole thing is about his clan being persecuted for their eyes. It just feels on the nose. It feels on the eye. The irony of it all, right? It's so interesting. I was very thrown off by that, because I thought that Kurapika was going to take, I forget that they're just like nunchucks. They're not actual blades. So I thought that Kurapika was going to stab the dinosaur in the head. But then I'm also, my memory is doing like a synthesis, like a synesthesia, because the stuff about getting knocked in the head ends up happening with the pigs. And I was like, okay, maybe my mind, it's kind of like last week's episode set where I kept thinking that the sake cups were going to lead to a disqualification, and it was like the laxative drink instead, which ends up helping them get out of the frog. So everything happens for a reason, right? So yeah, so Leorio and Gon and Killua and Kurapika end up getting away from the monsters that are pursuing them. But then Killua's like, let's keep going. We'll make it back to the front of the pack. And Gon's like, I don't want to leave my friends behind. And I think it's interesting to establish a couple of things with this. One is that Killua is okay with letting Gon do his own thing. Killua's like, okay, Gon went back. I'm going to move forward. That speaks a lot for Killua's character, because, you know, some characters be like, oh, I'm going to go back and find them. Killua's like, Gon's got this. I'm going to move on ahead, but Gon's got this. We're all good. So I liked that and appreciated it. But also, it establishes that Killua is fine with leaving everybody behind. He's like, peace up, peace out, Girl Scouts. And Gon is all about like his fellow teammates and stuff. I feel like they're setting us up with that. Like, Gon is going to go back and try to rescue his friends and try to be there for them and try to like take care of them. Killua is going to be like, I don't have any interest in doing that. So every man for himself. It felt like a setup moment that's going to be explored later on. I'm glad that Killua was instantly like, Gon, you're here, yay! But there's a lot of stuff at the beginning of this series that I'm like, I feel like they're just setting it up to come back later and test Gon on that, right? Testing Gon on making tough decisions, testing Gon on going back for your friends, testing Gon on do you leave them behind or you keep moving forward. I feel like it's setting all this stuff up that's going to be tested later, so we shall see. So, okay, Hisoka in the marsh. I remembered Hisoka having a moment in the marsh. I talked about it in the spoiler corner. I said in the spoiler corner, the only things, last week's episode spoiler corner, I said the only two things I remembered about this episode were, one, they got separated from Satotes, which happened in this episode. But the other thing was something creepy happens with Hisoka in the marsh. And I'm going to talk about more with that second one in the spoiler corner. So we're going to wait on that. I'm going to try to remember to label it this time as well as have the timestamp. But I did not remember specifically, I did not remember Leorio and Kurapika encountering Hisoka. Did not remember that at all. I was like, nope, when did that happen? I knew that Gon encounters him, but we'll talk more about it in the spoiler corner. But yeah, so like at what point did these guys think, oh, like we saw him disarm a guy and also straight up kill this one man instantly. Why do we think that we were going to be of any use fighting him? No. The card to the back of the head was pretty badass. I'm not mad at Hisoka in this scene because, and I don't think Leorio and Kurapika are mad at Hisoka in this scene either, or thinking that anything Hisoka does in this scene is out of pocket, because it's like, those guys were jumping you. You have to defend yourself. And if defending yourself means killing them, then, I mean, that's a you choice. That's an up to you choice. Not everybody can make that decision. And Hisoka seems to have no problem making that decision. So, and I feel like Leorio and Kurapika are not there to get onto Hisoka for making that decision. So the thing is, they don't want to fight him. They just want to walk away. But now they feel implicated. Also, how is Leorio keeping that 403 on? How is that happening? Is it just a sticker? How does that sticker not go off his sweaty pecs? How does that... Plot hole! Plot hole, Hunter x Hunter! Go on, Togashi! Explain how his sweaty pectorals kept on that 403 number. I'm waiting! No. Togashi's like, really? Of all things you want to nitpick, that's what you want to nitpick? So yeah, I forgot about all of this. Did not imagine this. And so what's interesting is Hisoka playing the role of examiner. It does make you question whether Hisoka is the imposter. Did Hisoka already pass and they let him come in as an examiner, or he's a secret examiner, or he's just there to like weed out the riffraff? He's talking to someone on the walkie-talkie, but I think who he's talking to on the walkie-talkie is Hellraiser, is the pinhead guy. And I'm like, well, why are they working together? I thought there was only one mole. What's going on? What are we doing? So that's, but then it makes you think, okay, well, if there's two of them, then there's not just one mole. So are they working with a different entity than the Hunter x Hunter organization? How does that happen? Or is Hisoka just like cosplaying as an examiner? Like, so many questions. So many questions. Gon is so adorable there. Look how cute he is. He's absolutely precious. So yeah, so Killua's like, all right, we caught up with everybody, and then realizes that Gon is gone. And yeah, I honestly, if I'm being real with you all, whenever Leorio and Kurapika split up, and then Leorio's like, I'm coming back, I thought it was maybe a man-faced ape that was like trying to fool Hisoka. I didn't actually think it was Leorio for a hot second. I really didn't, because, you know, I just didn't think that he'd have the courage to do that, but he did. They went separate ways. Now, Kurapika not turning back around makes sense, because Kurapika knows when they're outmatched, and they're like, Kurapika is more of, to me, right now, as we know them, more of a strategic player where they're like, I know what my weaknesses are. I know when I'm done in. I know when things aren't going to work out. So I'm going to just make the smart choice, leave Hisoka alone, and go back to the exam. But Leorio, you have to admit that he is courageous and being like, no, I can't just, not run away. That's not my style. In terms of fight or flight, it's nice to see that Kurapika is flight and Leorio is fight. And does that make Gon fawn or freeze? I feel like Gon is fight too. So Leorio and Gon are both. Well, that actually would work out if Gon and Leorio were fight, and if Killua and Kurapika were flight, because that seems to work too. Because Killua was just like, bye, peace out, let's go, let's get away from him. Yeah, it's interesting because Killua and Kurapika kind of have a similar, like, we're gonna get away from the danger, and Leorio and Gon are like, we're gonna take the danger head on. So there's that sort of like distinction between them. Honestly, though, man, I forgot that Hisoka could turn into, like, use the optical illusions, and then he goes to get him, and man, look, I know my mind was in the gutter for that ball joke, but am I wrong? That's not the first time a bobber slapped him in the face, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, that's the only joke I'm gonna make surrounding anything sexual involving Hisoka, because things get creepy after this point. Look, and there's a part of me right now that would say that just don't call him little boy, Hisoka. I know he's 12, but just don't. There is something like, I could see people being the argument of, oh, your mind's in the gutter, and Hisoka is just, it's the thrill of the challenge, and Gon's a challenger, and age doesn't matter, but it kind of does. But it kind of does. And I'm like, and I'm sorry, but it is built up to be slightly creepy. It is a little bit creepy the way Hisoka kind of gets off on Gon, like, attacking him. Like, it just does. It just does. I'm like, it just is. But yeah, especially the language he uses, like calling him little boy. And then I also the fact that Hisoka's like, is that a fishing pole? Why are Killua and Hisoka and everyone baffled that Gon is fighting with a fishing pole? Have these people never been around such things? Did your dads not take you fishing? Did your grandpas or mothers not take you fishing? What a fascinating weapon. I just love it. I love that Gon's like, yeah, it's also a survival tool. I can also get food with it. But Gon's mad. Gon is mad that Hisoka has attacked his friends. Also, the manicure Hisoka has. How do you open doors? I don't know. This man is truly one of mystery. And then, man, Leorio tried. Leorio tried to get the heads up, and Hisoka just KO'd him. That's such a shot. Such a shot. Poor Leorio. Knocked his glasses off and everything. Oof. Oof. Just, man. Poor Leorio. So yeah, he's like, you come to rescue your friend. And then Gon keeps swinging at him. See, that dialogue there? No. Okay, also worth noting that Gon got an adrenaline rush for the first time. But you know what? Maybe not the first time, because Gon is used to fighting monsters on Whale Island and attacking them for the village and everything. So it's not like Gon isn't used to, like, fight or flight or being in danger and being, having to conquer that fear. But Hisoka is not like a shark or a giant boar or something like that in the forest. Hisoka is cunning, and Hisoka is smart, and Hisoka is dangerous in a much different way. And Gon being like, wow, that was a rush. I really like that feeling of, like, immortal danger and the rush it gave me. I'm like, I don't know if that's good. I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing for you, sir. Don't be saying that. Don't get the Goku mentality. No, you're not a Saiyan. So, but yeah, the good boy, I was just like, the language is creepy. Hisoka, why you gotta be creepy about it? He's like, that expression. And so he fights Gon just a hot second, but then we have this moment where he holds him up in the air, and I was like, please put him down. Please back at least 500 feet away from this small child. Please, sir. And yeah, it's just like that expression, and he says how wonderful. I'm like, you're choking Gon out. Why? And then, yeah, like the blush. No. look of struggling. I'm like, nope. Hisoka's a fascinating character, and Hisoka is very layered and complicated, and I can't wait to talk more about him. But he is at his creepiest around Gon so far, and I'm just like, no, maybe we should just get away from him. Stop it. Yeah. And then the thing is, he's about to, like, strangle Gon and kill him, and then he's like, oh, never mind, I don't want to kill you. And he says, don't fear, I'm not going to kill your friend. He's like, you passed. You both did. Because here's the thing, to be honest, if Hisoka had wanted to, whenever Leorio tried to jump him, he could have killed him. Like, he's done that to how many other people in this series so far? And we're only, like, on episode 6. Or we're not even to episode 6 yet. So I'm like, Hisoka could have killed him if he wanted to, but he didn't. So in Hisoka's mind, he's like, you and Leorio, you got what it takes. I want to fight you all someday. And I think the only thing, like, when Gon's like, oh, I was excited too, like Mr. Hisoka, I'm like, I think the only thing that makes them similar is that Gon and Hisoka both like challenging opponents, and they're both have kind of like an adrenaline, I don't want to say bloodlust around Gon because he doesn't right now, but they both like, the idea of facing a strong opponent. So Gon was kind of excited by it, even though he doesn't exactly know what's going on right now, which is very adamant when this face that Gon makes. He's like, what? We passed? What are you talking about? Okay, so then we have the dragon radar comes up, and it says, Hisoka, you should get back here. Okay, that's such cheating. So they just basically had the little sonar to get back to the group. Also, first name basis. Huh? We're going to talk about it in spoiler corner. We're nearly to the phase 2 site. He's like, I'll be right there. Okay. And then he just takes Leorio. How nice of him. How nice of Hisoka to take Leorio to the site for them. And here's the thing. This is the thing. I was like, why would Hisoka carry Leorio back to the site? Why would he care, even though he said he passed? Because he wanted Gon to pass as well, and knew Gon probably could use his nose to track Leorio. He's like, this guy reeks of cologne. You can figure this out, can't you? To track him and go on the way back. I don't know if Kurapika's sense of smell just isn't that strong, or not as strong as Gon's. I don't know. Also, Leorio he does seem like the kind of guy that would like drench himself in cologne. He just seems like that. You know those guys. You know them. Like some women do it too, where they drown in cologne, but where they drown in perfume. I know some women drown themselves in perfume. I'm not trying to make it gendered necessarily, but I know a lot of men that it's just like, we just took the bottle and just doused it. I'm like, okay. And Leorio would be that guy. So yeah, I feel like Hisoka did this to try to get Gon to have a way to come back without, Hisoka's not going to be buddy-buddy with Gon. No, not at all. But he's not like, I want you to pass too, so just follow the scent and come on back. Interesting. At this point in the episode, when all you could hear was Gon's breathing in the headphones, that was so good. That was so well done. I was like, oh. I remember someone telling me in the Discord, they're like, I understand why a lot of your shows on your channel, you don't use headphones and you just like listen to the episodes and there's just that and everything. But they're like, you kind of miss something when you don't have those sounds in your ears. And I get what they're saying now, because yes, that is 100% true. So yeah. So then Kurapika shows back up. We go back to the test site. And with them nails too. With them nails too, Hellraiser. Yeah, old Hellraiser Pinhead there. With the same matching nails. You all get manicures together? We're going to talk about it in the spoiler corner. So anyway, Killua's looking around waiting for Gon. And he's like, I like that Killua really just wants to get Gon there. And that's the main thing. So yeah, they make it back. I like that Satotes was nice enough to wait on them. So then Gon asks about Hisoka, and it's interesting because, again, Kurapika has done this since the moment they met Gon. They don't try to, like, talk over Gon or make Gon feel like a child, but they just kind of explain things. They're like, well, Hisoka was acting as a judge and says that he essentially was making calls on whether or not he saw people as worthy of being hunters, and meeting his benchmark of his own power if these applicants had enough strength. And he thinks that you and Leorio did that. And Gon's like, well, I still felt pretty powerless about him and I couldn't do anything. And Kurapika's like, well, you did hit him with that bobber. So, I mean, you did land a punch on him. He's like, well, I got the element of surprise, though. But there's something about the way that Gon phrases it that it almost feels like a hunter stalking its prey. He's like, it was kind of exciting to fight him. And I was like, don't get him addicted to fights. No. But we're only 5 episodes in at this point. So, yeah, Kurapika says they seriously doubt Hisoka could qualify as a hunter. I'm like, Kurapika, I think you might underestimate the people that they will pass to be hunters in this association. I think that Kurapika is like, well, Hisoka's not ethical or morally, like he's morally bankrupt in Kurapika's eyes. So there's no way they would pass him. And I'm like, I think they might. We didn't get to see Hisoka and what he did with the pig. So that's interesting. But is he the mole? We didn't find that out either. But Kurapika talks about how those with special techniques and potentially become hunters draw towards each other. So Gon is clearly the green star here. Hisoka's the pink star. And Leorio is the gold star there. So interesting. They look like a bunch of chaos emeralds. They're like attracted towards each other. I don't like using the word attract when talking about Hisoka and Gon. So we're just not going to do that anymore. But yeah, that was his. I like Kurapika finishes by saying that was his perspective. He's like, you're not worth killing yet. That's the thing. Hisoka's like, oh, you, Leorio, you and Gon, you guys are so much fun. Why would I want to get rid of you now when I could just like play with you like a cat playing with a mouse? I don't know. Kind of scared about all this. And then Gon's like, I was so scared I wanted to run away, but I couldn't. And at the same time, I was excited. Yeah, that's a little bit, we should probably be concerned about that just a hot second. I'm glad Satotes decided to wait on them. For the first time in his life, Gon experienced mortal fear. And those unfamiliar feelings that accompanying that fear confuse Gon, but he can't restrain his curiosity. That's the thing that concerns me, is that Gon is so curious. He's like, that was a funny feeling. I wonder if I experienced it again. I'm like, be careful, son. Don't get in danger, girl. So, yeah, Gon's curiosity killed the cat, so I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go. I do like this final shot of Hisoka. I just love Leorio with his strong back. Of course, Hisoka would not pass up the opportunity to drape a half-naked man over the top of him. Of course he wouldn't pass up that opportunity. Surely not. But yeah, that was a good ending shot. And so then we have episode 6. Episode 6 to talk about. I remembered nothing from this episode. Absolutely nothing. I did not remember anything about it. I remembered they got to the next phase, but I didn't even remember I did not even remember the second phase. So I think that a lot of times my memory, I don't remember things with Hunter x Hunter that were just like one-off episode events. Like the Marsh episode, because it was just one. I don't remember all of it. This, since the spider egg thing was just one episode. For some reason, when we had the spider egg moment, I thought that there were going to be spiders that came out of the canyon and attacked them. That didn't happen. So my memory is just toast on this series, which I guess is going to be a good thing. But yeah, so Leorio doesn't remember. Fighting Hisoka. So there's that. I don't think Gon's going to carry around his briefcase anymore, which is good. Leorio needs to carry around his own stuff. But yeah, so at this point, we're down to like 168 people. And Killua is just happy that Gon's made it. And he's like, oh, I made it because I could smell Leorio. And Killua's like, you're weird. I want to talk about it more in the spoiler corner, but I like that Killua is always surprised by Gon. He doesn't know what to expect with Gon. That's the fun part about it. And then Satotes is like, welp, phase 2's here at Bisca Forest Park. Peace out. Peace out, A-Town. Down. Like, just leaves. He's just like, see ya. And instead of fully leaving, he just goes sits in the tree to see what's going to go on. So, when we first opened up these gates, I'm not going to lie, I thought those were caskets. I thought they were all caskets. And I was like, is there going to be zombies? What are we going to do with this? No, this is literally the Great British Baking Show. And your technical challenge for today was to create a pork-based dish that no one can do. So all the first phase applicants come here to Minchie. I am Minchie, the second phase examiner, absolute queen. And then there is Buhara, the other examiner. Freaking love them. Ship them so hard. Love them. Minchie is an absolute diva. Queen. Love the look. Love everything about her. Buhara's fantastic. Honestly, if I was not self-conscious enough to not show that much skin, my brother and I could probably cosplay as them. But I'm not going to cosplay as her because I am not that comfortable showing that much skin on my body. No, thank you. But yeah, something really important is brought up in this, where they talk about the challenge. And she says that your next challenge is cooking. And they're like, cooking? And they're like, we're here to take the hunter exam. And she says, your next challenge is to produce a dish that's going to satisfy our palate. Which, to be honest, I would consider that to be a pretty hard challenge because everybody's tastes are different. I was thinking that she was going to like the polar opposite that he was going to like. And so making a dish that they both like was going to take some creativity and effort and organization and understanding and a lot of guesswork. But nobody seemed to even consider that as part of the challenging aspects of this. And they're like, why do we have to cook? And she's like, well, that's because we're gourmet hunters. So we learned new things here. We learned that there are different types of hunters, and we kind of have suspected that. I mean, Leorio and Kurapika sort of offhand said that without being official about it. He's like, oh, well, I'm going to become one of the wealthy hunters that has money to start up a clinic. And Kurapika's like, I'm going to be one of the hunters that has access to black market information so I can get revenge on the people that murdered my clan. And here we find out there's also gourmet hunters who search for rare ingredients to make food. And apparently these rare ingredients are kind of dangerous to get. Like, you have to be acrobatic, athletic, smart, cunning, know the system to be a hunter regardless. They're just applying it to finding something that is satisfying to their palates and pleasing to others. Here was the crazy thing. Toto, who is now out of the competition, and some of the others are like, what a letdown, gourmet hunters. And I could understand why Minchie was mad. Because she's like, I had to pass the exam like you did. I had to go through the same standard like you did. Just because I'm doing a job that doesn't seem as dangerous to you doesn't mean that it's not or not as valid. So I feel like we see this in our own world where people's professions, it's like, oh, well, you do this and I do that. Like, you know, it's kind of like I coach a competitive speech team and we do lots of practice for speech, and people are like, well, how much work can that be? It's a lot. It's a lot of mental work. And you have to have, like, when you give a speech, you have to have the right breathing cadence so you don't run out of breath. You have to know how to do rate and tone and movement. And it is an activity that requires a lot of practice. And and some people are like, oh, well, it's not like a sport. Like, you know, it kind of would also be comparing like esports to basketball or something. And there are very big differences, but they still require a lot of effort. They still require a lot of practice to be good and a lot of technique and understanding. So it seems like comparing apples and oranges in that regard. And I don't blame Minchie for being kind of mad that they're judging her. But she seems to have that aspect of getting mad and offended easily, as the Totes is like, this is going to be a problem. Depending on the task, there may be fewer than 10 applicants that pass phase 2. And he's like, maybe I should contact the head of the selection committee to be like, hey, this is going to be a problem. I wish we could have saw what Hisoka made. Wish we could have saw. So they tell them their required ingredient is pork and sends them on their way. And apparently there's only one species of pig in the area that's going to do. And turns out the pig that we're going to look at is the one literally from the 1990s game Tomba. I remember when my brother and I first got a PlayStation. It was like back in the late 90s, early 2000s, whenever the first PlayStation came out. And we got like the PlayStation came with they used to have these come out. I wish Nintendo and other companies would do these now because they were so freaking cool. It was like a disc and it had just like sample games. Like Bomberman was on it, Tomba, the Brave a Fierce Hunter Musashi. Like there was a Crash Bandicoot like game. It was only like 1 or 2 levels you could play. It was like a teaser, so you got to play a little bit and decide if you wanted to buy the game or not. But then you could also just play those levels infinitely, and that's it. If you really just wanted to pass the time. They were a lot of fun. And Tomba was one of them. And these pigs in Tomba look exactly like these pigs. So I am sure that I'm sure Tomba drew reference from Hunter x Hunter. I'm sure it had to, because the designs are so on the nose, literally, pun intended, that there's no way they couldn't be. But yeah, honestly, pigs, I know people are like, oh, they're omnivores. Pigs will eat anything. My family raised pigs. There's a reason in The Wizard of Oz that they did not want Dorothy Gale to fall into the pig pen, because pigs will eat you. They will eat you and consume you. They do not care. They can also be cannibalistic. So there's that too. They're actually crazy. Like, no, I'm not a big pig fan. Pork is okay, but I'm not a big pig fan. Honestly, though, the only other thing that I question about this episode, I love that Gon figures out, Gon's a trendsetter. Gon figures out that if you attack the forehead, it knocks the pigs out. It's super cute. Love that. The only thing that was slightly confusing is how everyone, I mean, it's just played for anime logic and comedic effect, but everyone holding the pigs up with like 2 arms, I'm like, it's fine. We're going to accept it. We're going to accept that they can become hunters, and that was going to be it. But yeah, everybody is roasting him on the spigot the same way. I love the one guy. We'll show him in here in a minute. He was trying to make a salad. He was trying to do something, man. But yeah, so Totes is like, this is not going to work out. So yeah, the thing is, Buhara will eat anything and pass anyone. He doesn't care. But Minchi's like, you didn't even try. You didn't put any effort into this. You didn't show any originality. No. And I do kind of appreciate what Minchi was trying to accomplish in this part of the exam. She wanted them being like, when you are a hunter, you are going to be put in dangerous situations, but you are also going to be asked and given tasks to accomplish that are going to be intricate and require you to have some originality, some creativity, some going outside the box. She's like, none of you demonstrated this. None of you demonstrated being able to think outside the box. Y'all followed each other. Y'all did the exact same thing, and you didn't put any effort or consideration into this because you didn't think it was worth your time. She's like, you can't do that. She's like, Buhara and I have to be hunter examiners here. We're not getting paid for this shit, but we still have to put creativity and effort into it. So, you don't always get that option. Mm-hmm. And even in the spider one, with the spider egg challenge, it kind of ended up becoming the same thing it did here, where once you figured out the formula of waiting for the breezeway to start, then you jumped down, got the egg, and flew back. Everybody kind of followed suit, and we're all little sheep following the same person. So you ended up having the same system in place for the egg collection, but at least you had to make that decision of whether or not you were going to jump in and try it, and then go from there. Because Toto ended up not being able to try it, and so he failed the challenge. But yeah, so everybody ends up failing. At least, what's funny is at least Kurapika tried to make something different. I like that Leorio was just to put a flag, a Hunter flag onto it, and Minchi's just so over it. I love it. And then you had Kurapika at least tried to put some pineapple and tomatoes and lettuce inside of it, but the way that the pork was cooked was not any different than anybody else's. So Kurapika probably came the closest to passing, but still no cigar. Also, Leorio, I don't know if Leorio just wasn't attracted to Minchi, but good for him for being respectful. Good for all these people for being respectful of Minchi, right? Good for them. Can't say the same for Netero. We'll talk about him in a hot second. Also, Kurapika's disdain of being compared to Leorio when she was like, your pork is exactly the same as Leorio's. Kurapika's like, oh no. That's not what I wanted. I didn't want that at all. So sad. So anyway, she tells them all that they failed. She's like, nope. And Totes is like, we gotta change this. I love the edamame man. He gets to show back up again. Good for him. I guess that Netero and the one guy, 191, they're different people. I thought they were the same. They are different people. So there's that. Also, I want to go back to a couple things here. One, whenever she's pointing out the people that failed, I like that Killua is still cooking his pork and Gon was like, I was about to make a stew. Gon's like, I was about to make a soup and see if that helped. Like, there was that. But then where was this other guy? I want to find him on there. Like, Toto smashes his workstation, which you should never do in a cooking challenge. Don't do that. Also, I did kind of get a little mad on Minchi's behalf. Minchi and Buhara are the examiners. They are licensed hunters. They've paid their dues. They've gone through the testing. And, you know, Satotes, when Satotes was like, oh, you have to keep walking and keep doing this for us. I get that they thought that it was because it was challenging your stamina and everything. They accepted the challenge. But Satotes' challenge was pretty stupid too. So nobody questioned him. But then Toto gets all mad at Minchi and she's like, I'm the one that gets to make it up. You don't have to be here if you don't like it. And I did feel a little bit bad that she wasn't getting the respect, you know. And then they're like, well, we risked our lives. And she said, I said to prepare the pork in a manner that we both found delicious. She's like, none of you made anything remotely delicious. You did almost the same thing. All of you. There was no effort made. And just when I thought someone actually tried, they just changed the appearance of it. Nobody attempted to emphasize any flavor. None of you took this challenge seriously. And I like that Hanzo's like, well, pork dishes are all the same. And she's like, no, they are not. Actually, she's like, say it once more. There was one shot of this guy, and he was like in the background with a thing of lettuce. It was really funny to me. But yeah, girl, I want to find, yeah, she's like, none of you have the guts to try anything new. And that's the thing. She's like, I don't care what kind of hunter you're trying to be. You know, it's like you got stuck with a gourmet hunter giving you the test. So you got to deal with what's been the hand that's been dealt to you. When he tried to attack her and Buhara threw him against the building. And at first you're like, oh, let her take care of it herself. But then Buhara's like, you would have killed him, wouldn't you? And she's like, love it. What an icon. She's great. So yeah, so then she's like, every hunter knows some form of martial arts. She's like, bitch, I got these knives. You think I don't know what to do? You think I don't know how to deal with stuff in the wilderness? You think I don't know how to do my job? I'm like, again, all these hunters have to be slightly crazy. And they all had to be super strong to pass the exam in the first place. She's such a queen. Love her. So yeah, this is the one guy. He's like over there. He's got the head of lettuce in front of him. He was like, I was about to make you the best salad that I knew to make. What? I felt so bad for him. He was trying so hard. So yeah, everybody's feeling bad. Hisoka, I like the Hisoka brings up the Joker card. I'm like, was he about to throw a card at her or Buhara? What was about to happen? Was he about to chop up his pig with the card? What was about to happen with that? And then Netero comes down with his wooden sandals on. Man has drank so much Ovaltine, there's no way for him to break a bone. Has the gauges, so you know he's punk. And then didn't his Just for Men faded out on the edge of his beard? We're going to hope that's what it was. But he's the chairman of the selection committee. And he's like, oh, I just work behind the scenes. Sounds shady to me. Sounds shady to me. I only take action when there's an issue. I immediately, like, Minchi has no respect for any of these, like, hunter candidates here. She has no respect. But the moment that Naruto shows up, she's like, oh, hey, sir, yes, I'm sorry, I did my job wrong. If I need to redo this, if I need to withdraw or we need to redo the phase, I'll do it. Like, she treats him very seriously. Like, which is why it's so frustrating. Because he just looks at her boobs. And I know someone will be like, well, she's wearing a bra with a see-through shirt. And I'm like, but you should still have respect, right? Why can't she be fashionable, right? I was just like, oh, he's one of those creepy, perverted old men. Great. And she's like, I lost my cool when one of the contestants said that she basically was like, they said F my drag, and I said F the exam for you then, is basically what she, like, put out there. And he's like, well, let's just redo the exam, and you be a part of it, and that way they'll feel as if this is worthy of them doing, if you're a part of it as well. And she's like, okay. So she's like, the new challenge is going to be boiling eggs. She's like, can we get there with your airship to Mount Split in half? Which, The nomenclature was super creative. Let's say that. They went exactly to Mount Split in half. Part of me is wondering if like, because it even goes down to the tree line. So I'm like, did someone's attack, did Jing's attack cause this years ago? Like, how did we get here? Also, the airship. That's where I remember in this series that there was an airship, and it's literally the Hunter x Hunter like examination committee's airship. Interesting. Also, it kind of looks like Bullet Bill with the little scary shark face on it. So we go into the crevice where there are all these webs, and beneath it are all of these eggs. I thought we were going to see Shelob in this. I thought that's what we were going to get, but no such luck. Not here. Also, RIP to those people that fell to their deaths because they didn't wait for the gust of air. RIP to them. But yeah, she just, girl. I like also that Minchi kind of demonstrates the effort it takes to be a gourmet hunter, because you can tell they don't take her seriously. And she's like, fine, I'll show you what we have to do. This is what we do every day. We put our life on the line to get this gourmet food to bring back to make people happy. Wow, doesn't that seem like something worthwhile now, Mr. Blacklist would-be hunter? So I love that she proves that here. Also, so far in this challenge, again, I feel like Jing specifically put Gon on Whale Island to build up his like technique and stamina and like everything about him for this kind of challenge, because this challenge is literally made for a country bumpkin. This challenge is perfect for Gon. Where Gon's like, oh, we just have to like do this? Oh, I would do that on Whale Island any day, you know? But crazy. So yeah, the ravine has updrafts, and that allows them to get back. And he's like, well, no reasonable person would jump down there. Well, no reasonable person would maybe be a hunter. If you think about it, this whole entire examination has shown that being a hunter puts yourself in danger. It puts your life at risk. If you are a hunter, you may be asked to do crazy things on behalf, like Netero saying you need to go down and get the egg. I mean, she made up the challenge, but he said she had to do it too. So being a hunter is not glamorous. You may get some perks, but it's going to require some things that you may not initially want to do. Also, look at how precocious Gon is. He's so excited. He's so happy. I love that. Like, they're all together. Leorio and Gon are both like, yeah, like they're very peas in a pod. Killua's like, this is not boring. I'm up for this. And Kurapika's like, for the sake of my clan. That they're going to do it too. But yeah, RIP to those guys that fell. The tension in this episode, again, like the smallest things in this series that you would think would not bear or cause any tension surprisingly do, because people have died and there have been risks and there's stakes to this series. Like at any given moment, someone you know could fall into the ravine trying to get a spider egg and just not be there anymore. So it was actually really good. I loved this. This episode was a lot better than I remembered it, right? Also, Hanzo, good for Hanzo. I'm not a boiled egg person. I like scrambled eggs. I like fried eggs on the very rare occasion and over easy, rare occasion, but boiled, poached, no thank you. No. And yeah, also, I loved her there. She looks so good there. Freaking queen. And Gon being like the most innocent and offering his egg. Adorable. Love it. I guess Hisoka did this too, right? Was he originally one of the people that like got up there? I want to go back and look and see if Hisoka was one of the ones. Can you see him in the background? I don't see Hisoka, so maybe that's because he's the imposter. I don't remember. Don't recall. We'll see. Okay. But anyway, oh yeah, well there's the one guy, number 191, and there's the one with the monkey, and there's the one that looks like there's the three guys there. Okay, Hellraiser's there too. Hellraiser is there, and then the one that looks like they're from Yu Yu Hakusho is there, so they're there too. And then there's the other ones there. I don't see. Oh, there's Hisoka right there in the corner. Ta-da! There they are. Okay, so Hisoka and all them did do the challenge. Good. Glad that we established that. And the one guy with the pink turban, he has the arrows there, so that's fun. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Neato. So yeah, much better than the ones you buy in the store. All right. He's like, I was outclassed this year. She's like, yeah, calling yourself a hunter requires an enormous amount of determination. Yeah, no matter what class you are, it's going to take a lot to get to that level, and then you decide what you want to do with it. Only 42 applicants remain. Crazy talk. Crazy talk. The Hisoka and the ED is wild. And then I feel like we got some of our applicants or some of the examiners. Okay, maybe them going down this ravine. Is this like basically making something out of the egg episode? Interesting. Anyway, so I have some things in the spoiler corner that I want to talk about with you all, but these were 2 episodes that I really, really enjoyed. We're already past phase 2. That took no time at all. And now we got to find out what we're going to do next. And I honestly don't remember. I don't remember. So I'm really excited to do episodes 7 and 8 and figure out what the hell I forgot. So we're going to do a spoiler corner. But if you're not sticking around for the spoiler corner, then I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and I'll be back for episodes 7 and 8 of Hunter x Hunter with you all. But if you're sticking around for the spoiler corner, I want to talk with you about a couple of things. First of all, I want to go through the OP. I want to go through the OP and see if there are things in this OP that I have forgotten. Okay, so we see Naruto there. We see Satotes. We see Buhara, and Minchi. I don't remember the long-legged person with the sword. Don't remember them. Don't remember them with the gun. Don't remember that person over there with the triangular thing. I think that this person with the pigtails, I think they're Bisky. I love Bisky. That's as far as I got, was like the arc with Bisky is about where things ended for me. That's about as far as I got, if I can remember correctly, but I love Bisky. I think they're on here, but there's some of the 100. The fact that Bisky's a long time away from us is crazy with how Tagashi planned this out. Absolutely wild. So yeah, but I do remember Bisky, and I can't wait to talk about them when we get to them. But what else do we have in this OP that I want to touch base on and get with y'all? I think there was a couple things else that I wanted to bring up as far as spoilers go, which is them in the tunnel. So we see that. I think I know what I've messed up on as far as talking with y'all of what I've seen and not seen. So yeah, let's get past them getting okay. Oh, there was something else in here. I think it was, oh yeah, Leorio with the fish and then Gon saving him, which is kind of reminiscent of what happens today in this episode, which is fun. There was one more thing. Killua, maybe, and then Hisoka, anything else? Okay, maybe not. Anyway, I think that maybe the 3 examiners were shown in part of this, but yeah. Okay, with the marsh. The spoiler talk. I did not remember this encounter in this episode, but there's another encounter where all I remember is that Hisoka, I think, is naked. And Gon and Killua are in front of him. I remember that. I swear to you, I remember that happening, and it was like, I didn't want to bring too much of it up last week, but I was like, no, Gon and Killua stumble across Hisoka, and he's naked. I thought it was in this episode in the marsh, but apparently not. So don't tell me when it happens, but please know that when it does happen, I'm going to be like, there it is, and whoop, there it is, because I know that happens. I did not have a fever dream, and I did not make that up, even though it feels like a fever dream. I know what happened, and I thought it was going to happen in this episode, and did not. So it's going to happen at some point. Also, I forgot, apparently, Illumini, or whatever his name is, I'm pretty darn sure that Hellraiser is the brother. I'm pretty sure that Hellraiser is Killua's brother. Killua just doesn't recognize him because he has all the pins and everything in and is in disguise. Maybe Killua does recognize him and isn't letting on, but when they were all gathered up there at the end of this episode, I was like, okay, Killua's not been like, oh, hey, bro, why are you here? So that makes me think that he doesn't know. And plus, their family are assassins, so Killua's brother in disguise would make sense, but I forgot that Killua's brother and Hisoka were maybe working together because I knew they're a thing. That's the thing about the OP. Okay, there's a shot in the OP There's a shot in the OP right before we start. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There it is. There they are. There they are. That's Killua's brother. That's Alumni. And he's with Hisoka. When I saw that this episode, I saw the outfit with the pins on it. I'm like, there he is. So yeah, beautiful. Ship them together. Want to read all the fan fiction. Can't obviously right now. So just like, I was like, there they are. So, he has the best hair out of like any character in the series. His hair is gorgeous and I love it. But yeah, so Killua didn't recognize him, I don't think. So I don't think Killua knows that it's him there. And then we go to the hunters here, which are clearly characters that aren't totally out here. I forgot about the one guy with the snakes. Yeah, and then Naruto and then these two and the airship. Yeah, Naruto with all the satellites and communication, and he's like in charge of it. People in authoritative positions of power, I get instantly sketchy about. So we'll see how that goes. Love Satotes though. But yeah, so maybe Killua doesn't realize that it's his brother. I forgot they were working together this soon. I'm still mysterious about it. So maybe I guess we'll find out. I want to know more. I want to find out now, but I know I've got to wait, and that's okay. As far as any other spoilers from this episode, I forgot about the Minchi and Buharu entire episode. Forgot all about episode 6. Everything about this, I literally kept thinking, I was like pig dishes. How did we end this? I was trying as I was watching the episode to be like, what did this lead to? And then when we got to the mountaintop and I saw the ravine, I thought, okay, I kind of remember them going after the eggs, but I thought that spiders came out and attacked them while they were trying to do it, and that didn't happen. So again, just like this weird marsh scene that I know happens at some point, but we've not got there yet, there are certain things from Hunter x Hunter that I remember because they were kind of iconic to me, for better or worse, for creepy or not creepy, and I can't remember all of them. So I'm like, they're just going to have to happen at some point. But yeah, I'm so ready for the reveal with Killua's family, the assassins. That's not going to come yet. And I'm very mad about it. So we've got to wait for it. And I'm doing a series in between each arc. So if it doesn't happen this arc, then it's just end of spoilers. I'm basically becoming addicted to this series is what's happening. And you all should know that. And you all are probably not surprised by this. But when I first watched this series, I was just passively grading papers and looking up and going, oh, that's cool. But now that I'm actually into it, I want to keep watching because it's kind of addictive. And I want to see what's happening next. So anyway, next week's going to be episodes 7 and 8. I don't remember anything past this episode at this point. So I know at some point we have to get to a certain place in this arc, I think, but I'm not entirely sure when it's happening. So we'll just find out then. But I'm excited for your comments down below. I hope you all enjoyed this reaction and rambling discussion. Maybe Whiteboard Kun will come back next week. We'll see. But anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah. I'll be back very soon with more of Hunter x Hunter. And I'll see you then.